the best TV in Arua City, and with you we shall be discussing some of these interesting stories making headlines on the papers today. And let's begin from Homa, and we talk about Okocha's deal with the Black Power FC. Of course, Okocha initially was supposed to join Express Football Club, as he reported earlier a few days ago, but apparently Team Black Power was running the deal in the corridors, and Okocha Rashid was in full contact with the Express officials, but apparently the amount of money that Okocha wants from Express was not at all what Express was willing to offer for him, but Team Black Power was ready to offer the amount of money that Okocha wants. And as they speak, Okocha has already penned a 2-year contract with Black Power. Yesterday he was in Lira, and equally I talked to the agent of Okocha Rashid yesterday, and he confirmed to me that Okocha Rashid is not going to be an official player of Black Power FC in Northern Uganda. Of course, Black Power will be having their second stints in the Southern Ghana Premier League. Of course, in their first debut in the league, they got eliminated from the Southern Ghana Premier League. Now they are having Okocha Rashid onto their books. Recently they appointed the services of Simon as the head coach. Now with Okocha Rashid also equal into the book. Okocha Rashid is not new into the Ghana Premier League. Okocha Rashid has been there in the league before. He has played with the Black Football Club for a couple of seasons, and he played with the Neck Football Club. Equally, it tells you that he is someone who understands Ghana football. Okocha Rashid brings a lot of experience to that team of into that team of Black Power. Okocha Rashid is going to be adding a lot of leadership. Okocha Rashid is going to be adding a lot of vibe, a lot of winning mentality. Okocha Rashid is a player of his own. He runs 90 minutes throughout the 90 minutes on the pitch. He can never get tired on the pitch. As Okocha Rashid, for him, he is going to be a very big addition into the team of Black Power Football Club. Of course, when you look at Okocha Rashid, he is one of the modern players you love to have in your team. Of course, when you play him as a left back, he does that one perfectly very well. When you play him to be actually a wing back, he does that one very well. Okocha Rashid is an all-round player. As a winger, he can play that one very well. As a left back, that's what he does best. Okocha Rashid is going to be adding a lot of vibe into that team of Black Power. Of course, that's what Black Powers need right now. Of course, they need that experience, they need that leadership to be in their team, to see that the team stays very long in the Southern Ghana Premier League. This is to obtain promotion into the league, but apparently you get demoted or relegated. It's not right. But now this team of Black Power is looking at that experience. They are looking at that exposure that he has built in himself. Of course, Okocha has seen it all continentally. Of course, he has been playing with the Jamus Football Club in the CAF, in the actual club games. He has been playing with South Sudan national team in the Africa Cup national qualifiers. He has seen it all in the continental level. But he's not going to be adding that into that team of Black Power. That leadership, that winning mentality, that fighting spirit is going to be one of the biggest things for him. But I can tell you, Okocha Rashid has ever played with Yakini Rashid. Of course, Yakini Rashid is into that team of Black Power. He has played with the likes of Okech. They're into that team of Black Power. Innocent Maduka, of this one, he has ever played with them when Innocent Maduka was playing for Arua Hill. By then, Okocha was playing for the Black Football Club. They are going to be reuniting themselves into the team of Black Power. Black Power is a team that seems to be ambitious. Of course, recently they brought in the football official to come and inspect Ebenezer City grounds, and I can tell you the stadium has been granted the opportunity. It has been actually past 70% fit to play games in Lira City, and this is not going to be one of the biggest things for them. Of course, the biggest priority is to use Akiba Stadium that is under construction right now. So with time, we could be seeing a Black Power shifting to Akiba Stadium. That is going to be in the near future, but not now. But in the near future, they're going to be using a keyboard stadium. That's Blast Power for you. But now, adding a player in the shape of Okocha Rashid is a very big addition into this team of Blast Power. But Okocha Rashid is not the only addition that this team is going to be adding in. Of course, there has been a talk that Andama Junior is going to be into their books also. Of course, Lugazi FC were monitored the services of Antama Junior. Entebbe UPPC was actually monitored the services of Antama Junior. But Blast Power, they are equal into the mix. Blast Power, they want to stay in the league. They don't want to get relegated anymore in the Southern Ghana Premier League. Of course, this is going to be a unique season. This is going to be a season. If you are not going to be strong enough, if you're not going to be competitive enough, if your squad depth is not going to be enough, you are going to be having challenges. Of course, teams are building themselves stronger. Of course, we're seeing KCCs of this world reshaping themselves. Chitara are building. NEC are doing that. Vipers are doing that. Express are doing that. URA are doing that. Now, how about Blast Power? They've added another firepower into the team in the name of Okocha Rashid, who is an all-rounder player who worked tirelessly. Very, very good addition into this team of Blast Power. That's Okocha Rashid for you. He has banked the money that he wants already. Of course, Express, I was told Express wanted to give him only 5 million Ghana shillings. But what Blast Power offer for him is much better than what Express wanted to offer for him. The money that Blast Power was given to Okocha is more than 5 million Ghana shillings. 5 million Ghana shillings. More than that. That's what Okocha Rashid has got from that team of Blast Power. But the most impressive factor here is the point of players now negotiating their deals through with the club officials. It is of urgence. Our West Nile players have learned lesson. Of course, the urgents are reaping big from them. They are reaping from their services. Now, most of the players in the West Nile region, they wanted to have their contract from talks done privately through the club hierarchy. As a player, I talk directly to the club that wants me. Not that my agent goes in and talk to the club owners. No, it's the players who are currently now talking directly to the club officials for the negotiation deals and their contract terms. Now, Okocha Rashid is going to be a big player. Or yes, he's going to be an official player of Team Blast Power in Northern Uganda, down in Lira. So, Okocha Rashid, wish him all the best in that team. So, the likes of Andama Junior, who are also in negotiations with this team, I was told there's a player that this team also wants from my team. I don't want to disclose the player for now, but let's first wait for the official information to come in. Of course, Abel Guang, the PRO for Blast Power, is a very good friend of mine, and I will say a lot with him. There's a possibility of one of the generation youngsters joining that team of Blast Power. So we're in business in that, and we shall be breaking for you some of the details in length. Of course, yesterday games were played in the Uganda Super 8, and of course we did see a number of huge results coming through, and one of the biggest one was NEC beating this team in the names of Entebbe UPC by 2-1. Yesterday, when I was doing the show, I did say it clearly that NEC seems to be the team that is going to be taking the advantage over Entebbe UPPC, knowing the fact that Entebbe UPPC is a team that is strong enough in the middle of the pack. Yes, defensively they are not all actually compact in my own view. Looking at their attacking force, you realize that their striking line is not all that good enough. The creativity was kind of lacking for them. But into that team of NEC Football Club, Badru Kadru has kind of assembled something which is very, very unique. Looking at the character he has installed into the players, looking at the style of play, looking at how NEC was trying to move forward, you realize that NEC have a big mission. They term themselves to be the diehards. Of course, that is actually what is paying off for them. They are working tirelessly. They are fighting hard. They are playing as a team. That is the unity that I actually wanted to see from teams. Look at how they were actually playing in the middle of the pack. They were playing with a lot of fluidity. They were playing with a lot of mobility. But that has been something which has been lacking with this team of Entebbe PPC, caused by Abdullah Mubiru and Charles Wilson Babazi. That mobility was lacking in the middle of the park. That creativity in the final third was lacking. The defensive action setup was not all that good. NEC were the better side. Congratulations to NEC Football Club upon winning that. Of course, that is the dividend of having a good squad. That is the profit of having a team that works together. NEC is going to be a team. Of course, we've seen NEC Football Club dominating things in the recent times. The last 2 seasons in the Ghana Premier League, NEC has been a team to talk about under Hussein Balangu. But Badu Kaudu is now actually trying to reinitiate that actual fighting spirit into the team once again, and he wants to see this team of NEC Football Club staying competitive in Uganda Premier League, into other domestic cups in Uganda. So that was the same mentality that Badu Kaudu told the players, let's go in, attack and win the game. And that was the spirit, and indeed it happened exactly like how they planned. They actually strict. They managed to beat this team of Entebbe PPC by 2-1. Remember, it ended 3-2 on aggregate in favor of Entebbe PPC. Not Entebbe PPC as such, but in favor of NEC Football Club. In the other game that was played yesterday, we didn't see Police Football Club beating Chitara Football Club by 1-0. Remember, Team Chitara Football Club went into this game knowing very well that in the first leg they recorded a commanding 4-0 winner over Entebbe PPC. So it was going to be a hard thing for Police Football Club to come on board and probably make sure that they go on and win this game by more than 5 goals. It was going to be a hard hassle for them. But nevertheless, I can tell you the spirit, the fighting spirit into this team of Police Football Club made sure that they scored that 1 goal, which eventually turned to be like a consolation for them. Of course, Team Chitara Football Club managed to beat them with a huge scoreline in the first phase, and the game ended 4-1 on aggregate in favor of Chitara Football Club. So, NEC Football Club, Chitara Football Club already through into the next round of the Uganda Super 8. Now, we are having a series of games coming up today. 2 games on card today. We shall be having Maroon Football Club that will be entertaining SC Villa at 4 p.m. The first league ended 1-1 between the 2 teams, and I can tell you this is going to be one of the biggest games to watch. This is going to be one of the biggest games to watch. Maroons up against SC Villa. I know why I'm telling you that. I'll come to that. Of course, we shall be having a bowl that will be entertaining KCCA. This game is going to be at 7 p.m. sharp Ugandan time. This is going to be another cracker. This is going to be another interesting game to watch also. Remember, KCCA recorded a 2-1 win over Broad FC in the first phase. Now, in the second phase, there's a huge one for them. Let me first begin from the game that Maroons will be playing against this team of SC Villa. You remember, SC Villa, they are not into their moods. The players are not into their moods. The fans are not into their moods. The club hierarchy not into their moods, just because of the demise of the captain David Owori, who was killed recently in unfortunate circumstances. Now, what is going to be the strength for SC Villa? This is going to be a big game for SC Villa and Maroon Football Club. They are going to be fighting hard, knowing very well that SC Villa players, SC Villa board will want to come on board and give hard times for Maroons in this game, just because they lost their captain in the name of David Owori, and the players, they want to win this game, and they may want to dedicate this actual game for David Owori. This is going to be the biggest factor in this game. Of course, Maroons has to be double careful in this game. Of course, the players will be motivated in winning this game to see that they're dedicated for David Worry. Remember, AC Villa, they're not a joke also when it comes to top games in Uganda. They want to win trophies, and this is going to be one of the biggest games to follow. But Maroons, they are also an improved team. Mark Fred is training with them. Probably he's going to be a player of Maroons Football Club. But this team of AC Villa, knowing very well that they are in a very sorrowful state. I know the players are not actually men that are good enough to face off Maroons at this point of time, but it's going to be one of the biggest things for them. But I'm quite sure they are going to be putting forth a very good show against Maroons Football Club tonight at 4 p.m. Ugandan time. Of course, Bull Football Club in the other game, they've been playing against KCCA. Like I told you earlier on, these are two big actual giants in Ugandan football. KCCA has been dominating Uganda football. KCCA has been winning the Ghana Cups. Bull Equal has won the Super Cup already. KCCA has won the Super Cup already. Now, this is going to be another big task for Team Bull. Of course, KCCA are aware that they have got that 1-0, that 1-0 advantage over them. That one goal is very, very pivotal for KCCA right now. Can Bull be in position to climb the elevations of the hill against KCCA to see that they overturn the 2-1 aggregate that KCCA is having currently in the first after winning the first phase of the games? Now they are coming into the second phase of the games. Now there's high time that Team Bull needed to rise to occasion and make sure that there is a pass as KCCA with that 2-1 aggregate that KCCA recorded in the first phase. This is going to be a very, very huge elevation for Team Bull Football Club against KCCA in the tournament. So Bull, they also an organized side. They always been motivated. The money is always there. Of course, their winning allowance is always very huge. But I'm quite sure the club hierarchy is going to be injecting that money into this team of Bull Football Club to see that Bull goes into full attack, goes into full preparations against KCCA. This is going to be an interesting game to watch. An interesting game to watch indeed. But if KCCA is not serious, Bull is going to be doing something very huge in this. Very huge in this indeed. So KCCA has to be double careful in this game. But I don't want to rule off my straight. KCCA to me have the upper hand in this game still. They have got the mans in charge of this game on the touchline. Brian Senando is excellent when it comes to game reading. KCCA is having their players into their books. The players who have actually seen it all in the big stage, they are going to be doing ones and twos into the team of KCCA to see that KCCA goes past Bull Football Club yet again. So if KCCA can be in position to beat this team of Bull Football Club in the two league affairs, definitely when the Southern Ghana Premier League will be resuming, KCCA is going to be having a nod over Bull Football Club yet again. So these are some of the games that will be coming up today in that perspective. And let's talk about transfers. And we'll begin it at Real Madrid before we cross over to Barcelona Football Club, because Real Madrid have already given Vinicius Jr. a 6 years contract already at San Diego Bernabeu. This was confirmed yesterday, and Jose Felix Mourinho was with Vinicius Jr. when they were actually unveiling him after signing the 6 years contract with Real Madrid. Of course, Vinicius Jr. and Real Madrid, they have been in longer cases when it comes to contract negotiations, and Vinicius Jr. has been into that team of Real Madrid for a longer period of time. And Jose Felix Mourinho did say that he wants to work closely with Vinicius Jr. into that team, and he is the kind of player that he fancies working with. and he thinks he is going to be one of the instrumental players into chaos on the front line. He is going to be working so tirelessly, ensuring that Real Madrid, Chris Sanchez, Real Madrid finds the back of the net so oftenly, with Jan De Marte already into the mix, with Kylian Mbappe into the mix there. Jose Felix Mourinho thinks his front line is going to be the most powerful front line in the Spanish La Liga. And Jose Felix Mourinho wants to see that Real Madrid stays competitive in the Spanish La Liga. Remember, in the last 2 seasons, Barcelona Football Club has been dominating the Spanish La Liga. Now, Jose Felix Mourinho wants to come in with a lot of authority, wants to come with a lot of demand to see that he dominates the Spanish La Liga once again. So, it still remains to be seen whether Jose Felix Mourinho can be in position to dominate the Spanish La Liga yet again. These are some of the things that we shall be waiting to see in that perspective. But when you look at Jose Felix Mourinho, he has added a number of players into the team. He added Bernardo Silva into the team, experienced player. He has added a player in the name of Jan De Marte into the mix, Marco Correa into the mix, Dumfries into the mix. Jose Felix Mourinho has added experience into the team, and he wants to see that team Real Madrid looks balanced. He wants to see Real Madrid winning the Champions League. He wants to see Real Madrid winning the Spanish La Liga and other domestic cups in the Spanish league. We are going to be waiting to see whether Jose Felix Mourinho can be in position to do huge with Real Madrid in that perspective. At Barcelona Football Club at Nou Camp, there's a huge one for Barcelona fans. Of course, Rodri, the Manchester City player who is already 30 years old, says yes to Barcelona Football Club. Remember, Real Madrid has been talking about his services, but Rodri finally agrees on the fact that he wants to play only for Barcelona Football Club. Of course, remember when Rodri was playing in the World Cup, after winning the World Cup with the Spanish national team, he realized that 90% of the Spanish national team players are dominated by the Barcelona players. Look at Dani Olmo, a Barcelona player. Look at Pedri, a Barcelona player. Look at Ferran Torres, a Barcelona player. Now they wanted to add into the mix Rodri into the mix. That chemistry that actually worked well for Spain. For Spain in the World Cup is now the same thing that Barcelona wants to copy and paste in their squad. You see that in the case Rodri joins them through, the midfield has to be a little bit compact. The midfield combination has to be there. The chemistry in the middle of the pack has to be there. The players has to, of course, the players have already understood each other already. Doing that with the Spain national team in the World Cup, doing that with the Spain national team in the Euros, that chemistry is already there in the players. Now they are working so hard to see that they bring on board Rodri into the team to see that the players can be important to come in and complement each other. They wanted to see that Barcelona team dominates the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona team wins games over and over. So that is the spirit that team Real Madrid or team Barcelona are fighting so hard in the Spanish La Liga. The Spanish La Liga this season is going to be so tight. Barcelona have built their squad a little bit. They have added a lot of squad depth into the team. Team Atletico Madrid have done that, and also Real Madrid are doing that. This is going to be a very, very interesting season to watch also in the La Liga. That's like in the English Premier League, whereby teams are also building their squad in that perspective. Let's talk about Arsenal before I call it a quit. Of course, at Arsenal Football Club, Mikel Arteta, after having a long negotiation terms with this team of Newcastle United, the team has already secured the services of Bruno Guimaraes, the Brazil international, the Newcastle United captain, into their books already. Of course, they have signed him from Newcastle United for a fee of around £75 million. That is a huge amount of money that Arsenal has injected into the transfer market. Look at the player that Arsenal has signed in the middle of the park. Very, very expensive. Look at the Declan Rice from West Ham United. Very, very expensive. Look at Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Very, very expensive. Look at this player in the names of Bruno Guimaraes. Very expensive into the middle of the park. Mikel Arteta is looking at a project that he wants results. He wants trophies. That is what Mikel Arteta is not trying to do at Arsenal Football Club right now. Mikel Arteta is for the business. Mikel Arteta knows very well that Pep Guardiola has left English football. He is going to be the next king in the English Premier League. Now he's adding these players into the book. And I can tell you, Bruno Guimaraes is not a joke. Bruno Guimaraes is a Premier League material. He has seen it all in the English Premier League. Bruno Guimaraes is a fighter. Bruno Guimaraes is a game winner. Bruno Guimaraes work tired. He's not injury prone. That's Bruno Guimaraes for you. He is going to be adding a lot of energy into the team of Arsenal Football Club. Remember, in the team of Arsenal Football Club, there has been a lot of pressure on this player in the names of Declan Rice. He has been the player who has been going forward in some moments for Arsenal Football Club to go and score for them those goals. Now, that chemistry is going to be within Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes. In case Declan Rice goes forward, Bruno Guimaraes has to drop down. So in case Bruno Guimaraes goes forward, Declan Rice has to drop down. That chemistry is going to be working out for them. But I'm quite sure this midfield setup of Arsenal Football Club is going to be the best midfield setup so far in the English Premier League. Look at the players that Arsenal has signed in. These are players who have seen it all in the English Premier League. They are good players. Arsenal is not looking at that balance in their squad. Defensively, they have got the squad balance. Up front, they have got the squad balance. They've added a player in the names of Zolis into the books. Very, very young player, 22 years old. Fantastic youngster. Good on one-on-one. Good on finishes. Good on creating those chances. Good on tormenting defenders. He is a very, very fantastic player. Mikel Arteta and Michael Carrick, Xavi Alonso, Enzo Maresca, and then Anthony Iriola, Roberto Di Zerbi at Tottenham Hotspur. The Premier League is going to be so unique. So unique. What are you going to be waiting in the Premier League? Are you going to be seeing the characters that we used to see those days when Jose Felix Mourinho was just going to react on the touchline? Are you going to be experiencing that in the English Premier League come 2026-2027 season? Is that the character you're going to be waiting to see? Who is going to be the king of English football? Is it going to be Michael Carrick? Is it going to be Mikel Arteta? Is it going to be Enzo Maresca? Whom are you fancying to win the English Premier League? It remains to be seen. Hey guys, my time is up. I need to leave the studio for the next program to come in. Of course, the Islamic Hour is coming up next. After that, we shall be having Latat Florence coming with the English news at 1. And then Danny Sunday will come with the Look at Sports. After that, Danny Sunday will equal pop in with the news bulletin in Look. Bye bye for now. I'm out of here.